Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making a beginner style guide for the game Critical Legends. So I hopped on my alt known as Fake Shaska so I can be literally level 0 and just starting out to show you guys a few tips and tricks. So in this video I'm going to be going over a couple of easy to get early game classes that are good and some good chests and other tips and tricks like that. Now right off the bat you're going to spawn in with the combo sword. Something you should always do when you just start out this game is go to this neon blue chest behind the legit shopkeeper. This will give you a beta ticket. The reason why you want to get a beta ticket is because you can use it to upgrade the combo class to the beta sword, which is a very good starting class. So you're going to walk over to the arsenal, put on the beta ticket, activate it, and that's going to transform this class immediately to the beta sword, which is a great starter class. I recommend all you guys do that. Now in the starting area there is lots of chests. Make sure you grab all of them. There is the mining pickaxe, but the most important chest to get gives an ability known as punch, which is actually a super powerful ability you're going to be using pretty much the entire game. Anyways, it is in this blue ship back here. Make sure you grab this before you leave this area because punch is so necessary for many game strategies. And I recommend as soon as you get punch, you're gonna immediately go into your actives and put it on. So essentially what punch does is every single time you use it, it does about 12.5% of your total mana, and then it does the most damage you can. In other words, if I have 5 to 10 damage, punch always does 10 damage. So let's see, here's a tier 1 mob. If I spam punch, it always does 10 damage to them, as you can see. Now, the basic premise of this game is to dodge all the enemy's attacks while you pick up all of your orbs that spawn around the little battle circle. Picking up orbs is what gives you more mana. Essentially, the idea of this game is to have a good class that affects your active abilities and gives you a lot of mana and does a lot of damage. So essentially what the beta sword is good at is debuffing the enemies that you are attacking, plus it looks sick, plus it is very easy to use. As you can see, we mopped up that mob with no problem. Now against this fox, I'm going to do it yet again. If you just spam punch pretty much the entire time that you have mana, you're going to have no problems killing mobs in the early game. It is very easy to do this. Now in the starting area there is a couple of good chests to get. I would of course recommend you get all the obvious ones. All these in the open are good, like the honey daggers I just picked up gives a little bit more damage. Now one thing you can do in the early game if you're not necessarily a big fan of the beta sword is put the beta sword back into your combo move chest. Now every single time in this game, if you want to switch out your classes and find new ones, I recommend you do this so you don't lose the class you're currently using. This is the chest that you can use for this, so I switched out a combo sword and you can see my beta sword is in there. Whenever I want my beta sword back, I just go to those chests and grab them. Now I'm going to be showing you guys another really good starting class. It is known as Gunner, and it is going to be in the Thyrus Woods at a very early left. It's in a kind of hard to see cave. You walk into the woods and take a sharp left right away, and here it is. This is also a very good starting class. Essentially the way this class works is you will have bullets spawn up around your battle circle. Essentially the way this works is you're gonna collect all of these bullets you see, and then the more bullets you have before you pick up an actual attack, the more damage you do. That blue gun is the actual attack. As you can see, there is the attack, and these white orbs are the bullets. Now that I have 3 bullets, and I'm gonna get even more, now I'm at 4, my attack will do even more. So essentially with Gunner, you can do a lot of damage. You just pick up your bullets, you spam your punch when you can, and then you pick up all your attacks when you have bullets, and you should be doing quite a bit of damage for the early game. Now, I do recommend you don't necessarily farm those level 1 mobs out there because it's very easy to move past them. I'd recommend you start with these tier 2 wolves in here. This is a very good starting farm area because these guys are pretty easy to kill. Now, as you can see, I just leveled up there. I do recommend in your early game you go for damage and shield and mana. Health isn't necessarily the most important stat in this game due to how easy it is to dodge a lot of the enemies, and a lot of strategies requires using little health. Now I'm gonna put my points into damage just because I want to have a lot of maximum damage because punch is very effective. I just reset to get an instant spawn back here, and I got a bug that I do think is good to teach you guys about. Sometimes when you spawn in, you can't open your inventory. Like I'm hitting the P key, but it will not open and none of my stuff is there. If this happens to you, just keep on resetting until it pops back up. It is incredibly annoying that this happens. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of good chests you should get in the early game for good spells at the start. Now we're going to be going into the Thyrus Woods to go to an area known as the Punky Sky. I call it the Boat Teleporter Island. The reason being is because that lets you teleport all around the massive map and go to all the important areas. And on that island is a very important chest that drops a very important spell for punch and pretty much leveling up quickly, and this is known as Dark Burn. So Dark Burn is a difficult spell to use, but its benefit is amazing. Essentially what happens with this spell is you lose all your health, you go down to 1% health, but when you do this you get a 175% damage buff. Anyways, this is the Punky Sky. Here all the boats teleport out to other islands. This is a very important area of the game. Anyways, this is where you can find the Dark Burn chest. It is going to be in this central Coliseum area. Here it is right here. So it's on the opposite side as the bridge over to this like arena battle area. Make sure you grab that because it is very, very useful. But again, it is pretty risky to use and it does have a little bit of a skill to it. You lose all of your health when you use it. However, you get so much damage increase that essentially what you can do is just use that and then spam your punch ability and pretty much everything will die. That is why I suggested going for shield versus health because, well, if you're always going down to 1 health, you don't necessarily want a bunch of health in the first place. So I'm going to go ahead and activate that. Now, while I'm in the active item shop, I think I might teach you guys about consumables. So items like Dark Burn Scroll and Punch I can use as many times as I want in battle. However, items like Green Donuts I can only use once to activate it. As you can see, I've activated it once and now it goes away. So some items will be consumables like Fox Pudding and Wolf Pudding, while other items are going to be spells that you can always use. It is important to know which is which because sometimes you don't want to go into battle with a consumable and use all of them and not realize it. Typically, the food items are going to be consumables. Anyways, let's go to some more really good chests to get early on. So we're going to be going to the Trading Sky Blue Boat, and there is going to be a lot of walking around in this early part, but it is good to get some of these pretty good chests early on in the game. Anyways, this is a trading area. Currently, due to some exploiters, the trading area is not active, but if you have friends who can carry you and stuff like that, this is where you will be going. What we're going to now is known as the King's Crown, a pretty powerful item to get early on. It is behind a boss known as King Slime, but you really don't even have to fight him. You can just walk around the boy and then pick it up. It's pretty nice that you can do that. We are almost there. So essentially what you're going to want to do is around this corner, you're going to see this like windmill tower and a massive boss spawn in. If you just walk around the outside and don't aggro onto him, you can go up to this chest and get the King's Crown. The King's Crown is an amazing starting passive. It gives you speed, damage, health, defense, and pretty much everything. It is a fantastic item and I highly recommend you guys go after that in the early game. Anyways, since this chest is close by, we're also gonna go ahead and grab this, and this is the Barrage Chest. The Barrage Chest is a good skill to use. It is essentially an upgraded version of Punch, but it isn't necessarily better just because Punch is more spammable. Anyways, that is where the King's Crown was. Now we're in the open fields area. A couple mobs in here are very important to farm. These guys, these tier 4 purple cubes. Now the reason why these are good to farm, I'm not going to farm them literally at level 1 because they are tier 4. The reason why they are great to farm is because they drop something known as Chaos Potions. Chaos Potions are very, very powerful because you can use Chaos Potions to basically one-shot most bosses in the game, and they are a consumable. Basically what you do is you activate a ton of Chaos Potions and then you spam punch and pretty much every boss in the game dies. So the King's Crown was around the corner here. If you keep walking then come around here, you're going to see another golden chest and then a massive bee spawn in. This is also a great chest to get early on. This is gonna be the Queen's Soul. that chest is fantastic because the Queen Soul is very powerful for early game. It gives you a lot of health and stuff as well. I am pretty sure though you do lose minimum damage, but since you are using punch and it always does your maximum damage, it doesn't really matter. There is a lot of chests in this area like honeycomb and then this one over here. Now up and around in this area, these mobs are okay to farm as well for XP, but I would farm those tier 4 mobs I showed you guys quite a bit if you're looking for XP. Up and around this bend is gonna be some more mobs, some tier 3 wolves, which will be good to farm in the early game because they're very easy and they give good XP. I could farm them right now. Also back there, that is going to be your healer class. You don't necessarily need to grab that unless you're playing with friends. Healer class is definitely good in groups compared to alone. Anyways, where we're going now is where a bunch of tier 3 mobs are. I did go the long way to this. These mobs are going to be great to farm because they don't have too much health. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Darkburn and I'm just going to spam my punch. Just going to spam my punch. And as you can see, they are almost dead because Darkburn is super duper broken. Although I do only have 1 health. So the main struggle part about using Darkburn is the fact you lose all your health. If you don't level up from a fight after you kill someone with it, you're gonna have like no health. Anyways, this chest is also nice because that gives you the Traveler's Boots, which gives you speed. And obviously you can tell that I do not really have a lot of speed right now. Anyways, let's go over all the items I showed you guys. So first off, we got the Queen Soul, -5 min damage, we don't care too much about, and then plus 15 max damage, mana, magic, and shield is going to be really great for you. So essentially, you want to use that. And then King's Crown gives you speed, health, jump, and damage, so you're going to want to use that. And then I typically use Traveler's Boots for the 10 walk speed, but if you're dying a lot, you can use Honey Shield for the 75 shield. Also, very easy one to get before I end the video off is around this corner right here is the Rage Scroll. Now for the early game, if you're finding the Dark Burn to be a little bit too hard to use because you lose all your health, you can use Rage Scroll instead. Essentially what it does is around the same thing, but it doesn't lose all your health. It makes you use a lot of mana, and it lasts 7.5 seconds and does a little less bonus. So you could honestly do Punch, Rage, Barrage. You could do Rage, Punch, and some Consumables. You could do Rage, Dark Burn, Punch for an ultimate massive damage output strategy. There is a lot of early game stuff that you can make work, and then you can always use that Beta Sword to pretty much help you get through a lot of that early game. There is definitely a lot more things in this game than what I showed. I can make more videos going over chests. Up here is the metal plate, as you can see, but the other items I showed are a little bit better. Anyways, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, comment down below what else you want to see from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!